It's time for the Equity.Guru Investor Roundtable. And the question today for myself, Rob Simpson, and Chris Perry, who's down in my basement apartment below me there, and Vishal up here in the penthouse with me, and Joseph Morton, who's got his headphones on and everything, is, are we leading a better life? Are we really leading a better life? That's the question for today. And we're going to start with the new guy, call him new guy because he wasn't on the last couple of episodes, Joseph Morton, to talk about BetterLife Pharmaceutical. What are they doing being led by Ahmed Darudian, the PhD?
Well, the magic 8 ball, when you shake it, ask the question about whether you're leading a better life, comes up rather hazy. This company, though, well, they are a pharmaceuticals company for the most part. They take old drugs, which are used for different indications, to heal different types of illnesses, and they repurpose them. They run them through the standard testing required to be able to get them out to market, and they do what they can to make money selling them, I suppose. I mean, long story short.
You don't sound incredibly enthusiastic.
You see, the business model itself is fine. It's actually fairly common. You see it in a lot of these potential pharmaceutical companies. But I have some misgivings with this company for right now. I mean, they have four different products in the pipeline. They have one which is kind of curious in that it is an LSD derivative that's actually supposed to curtail the hallucinogenic effects of the trip, which I actually think is kind of neat. I mean,
curtail them or enhance them? Curtail them?
Reduce them.
Reduce
the
them.
effects.
Oh.
Which
isn't that where all the fun is, though?
So what's the point?
There's definitely a school of thought that says, what's the point of all that? And I am a member of that school of thought. But I'm also not in the medical community. And in this case, having an 8-hour bad trip and where you're trying to deal with the flaming monkey might not be the best. Might not be the best when it comes to.
Are you kidding? That is literally the best
part. Wait a minute. Just to clarify.
If I could take a benzo and get flying monkeys as well as a buzz, I'm into the benzos.
So essentially, avoid the flying monkeys, but get the medicinal benefits that people are talking about.
Mental health stuff.
That seems like a little.
Seems fun to me.
Plays around their brain chemicals, and you don't necessarily have to deal with the 8-hour hell trip that comes with it. So,
all right,
that's pretty sweet. Let's see. The second drug is kind of an It's an anti-anxiety med, which has been around in Chinese medicine for thousands of years. I can't remember the name of it right now. It has a
the magnolia bark.
That's
magnolia bark. Yeah.
Thank you, Vishal. That's exactly it. They have it in preclinicals right now. They have all four of the drugs in preclinicals, so they're testing them right now on animals. Let's see. The third one is the third and fourth one are both interferon derivatives. The first one is for COVID-19 and other influenza-based viruses, which shows a lot of promise. And especially since they performed a study which indicate over there in Wuhan, China, and they proved with statistical significance that it actually affects COVID-19, which is interesting. And the second one is for genital warts. And on that note, would anyone else like to talk about?
Hey, man, better life, better wife, right?
Is this the HPV thing?
It is the HPV thing, yes.
Oh, okay. Chris, you sound like you have the flaming monkeys, flying drunken monkeys.
Yeah. Well, look, I sort of look at this from a 30,000-foot view, right? So it had its moment when everyone was like going psychotic about the benefits of psychedelics, and it ran up on the back of also we have use for COVID. And then, reality sets in the sector a little bit, and people start finding other opportunities, crypto and whatever else. And you've got a long, slow slide down share price wise. A lot of people look at that share price and think, donezo, there's nothing here for me to jump in on. I look at that as an opportunity. The thing has progressed. Their clinical trials are happening. They've got plenty of options that they're delving into. But you've got one more year of progression there, and you're getting the stock for essentially 80% off. The big question for me is there a moment where this thing comes back? Because right now it seems like the market has deserted it, and short of some really breathtaking clinical trials, people, I think, view this as one of those COVID-19 plays when we're pretty much done with the COVID-19 plays. Psychedelics, I think they're actually on point. There's a lot of bullshit in psychedelics. These guys aren't buying a Jamaican Airbnb and calling it a clinic. They're not hoping for law changes in Salt Lake City, Utah. They're developing a psilocybin product that doesn't have the psilocybin in it. In other words, they're synthesizing the psilocybin. There's a lot of that going around. There are a lot of other groups that are either done that or claiming they're going to do that. The question for me isn't, can they do that? Because definitely it's doable. The real question for me is, do the pointy heads that have all the medical knowledge and biotech wizardry have the market guys required to get this thing re-accelerated, to get people who are looking at that long, flat share price chart enthused that there's going to be a catalyst that they need to get on right now? Now, I don't know that these guys are doing any marketing. I don't think they are, because quite frankly, when this was put on our production schedule, it was the first I'd heard of it. And as someone who's interested in psychedelics, some might say enthused by psychedelics, I kind of, if I haven't heard of you, then you're really hiding out. So I think these guys need to have a bit of a shake. They need to have a bit of a come to Jesus moment and figure out how they're going to get the market interested again, for two reasons. One, you'll keep your jobs longer. Two, if you're going to raise money, and in biotech, you always got to raise money. Yeah. You don't want to be raising it down here at 30 cents a share. You want to be raising it back up at the 225 that it was at 9 months ago. Currently, right now, this is a $9 million market cap. And I think probably a lot of people are waiting and seeing to see what they come up with next. I wouldn't even think, if I'm really looking at it, that there's not an opportunity for this to go lower than it is if they don't do something reasonably soon to shore up this business plan into something that people get really amped up into.
Speaking of that flat chart, Vishal, chart attack for BETR on the Canadian market.
Yep, I'll talk about the chart in just a minute, but I think it's interesting that, it is, there is a psychedelic play, we have a COVID play, and then the genital play is the one that is actually
the genital play.
The genital play.
The genital play.
I'm all in on the genital sector.
That makes it sound more interesting.
We need a genital ETF.
This will be the the thing bringing in cash the soonest.
Trades as GONAD.
That's right.
But this will be the one that will is the most advanced, and is likely going to be the product that will bring cash to them sooner than these. I just took a look at the team, and I think we should maybe highlight this as well. The CEO, 20 years of experience, but he also is the founder of Maris Labs, which was traded on the NASDAQ, which sold for 300 million plus in 2017. And some acquisition integration with all these pharmacy products here, and then the CEO, the COO. Also has 30 years of experience, had senior roles at Pfizer and a few other companies here as well. So, that sort of caught my attention there, the founder of Maris, and selling it for 300 million plus. Obviously, the guy has had success before, big success. So that's a sign there. And maybe I would take a look into the team a bit more there.
Unless it's a sign he's complacent.
Well, gotta do some more research on that. Take a look at that. I might even, give our biotech expert S on a call to see what these guys are about and what he thinks about them. But as Chris was mentioning, the stock just dropped, and it's a range, right? Typical range here, just moving in a rectangle, and essentially you can play the support, sell at resistance, play at support, what people have been doing here, but really, it's about the break. You just want to see a breakout, and when I zoom out, it's literally the lowest the stock price has ever been. So, do we see more new lows? Maybe, depending on if they don't get any catalysts or headlines out. Or do we see that breakout, right, above 37.5 cents, which would be a trigger for a reversal. But, the company has to get the market excited about that. And
Hey, Vishal,
Yep.
break it out to the 5-year view if you can.
There we go. Yeah, up to 2018.
Yeah. So in 2018, this was a $30 stock for a minute. And it's now slid down to the point where going from 30 to 31 is a big jump. I won't say that is a sign that nothing can come from this,
Right.
but if you've got a company that has been around for 4 years, has hit a point where it's 100 times what it is now, 100 times. That's a come to Jesus time, right? Like
Right. Yeah.
you either turn this thing around or you get off the boat.
Yeah.
Interesting.
100%. So, I guess, it's about management there. It looks like the management is experienced. They have some products that are on the, it's not quite advanced. It's still the preclinical stages. It looks like on most of them. You just got to wait for that headline. And as I said, the genital cream is the one that's the most advanced out of all.
So I think if we go around the horn, I'm probably going to expect then we're not going to see much action from you fellows with my cash. You want to go first, Michelle? We'll stick with you.
Yeah, I would have to do more research on these guys rather than just a chart. Maybe give our friend Esson a chat there, but I wouldn't really be touching this right now.
Joseph, I know you're not enthusiastic.
No, not a penny. I'm not throwing any money at this. I've actually got a bit of, because I'm writing about them next week, so I've actually had a look at their financials already, and they got a $200,000 cash position, and their liabilities and assets are way out of whack. And you notice they got 3 out of 4 drugs that are early stages in development, which and they tell you to get them from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3 to stage 4 ain't cheap at $200,000 with the sheer amount of debt load that they're carrying. I don't see much price. I don't see much action with this company.
Yikes.
No money.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm a big supporter of like the turnaround play and getting in nice and cheap and riding things back to the glory land. But man, this thing's already been through it. I think a lot of these development products have probably been sitting in their repertoire for some time, and that they had their moment where people were really enthusiastic, and that enthusiasm has died. If you can't do anything in the last 6 months to get off 30 cents, well, good, I guess that's your support level. And what would need to happen to get you under that. But also, come on, guys, get off the shitter on this thing. You can't possibly look at this stock chart and think everything is okay. You need to do something. You need to gather the forces of good, refigure out your business model so it's attractive to investors, get a little bit more interest in what you're doing, show that you're actually progressing these formulations in some way and that you've got a plan. All that I'm really seeing from them right now is just treading water. I'm sure everyone's getting paid. I'm sure everyone really, really likes the company that works there. I'm sure that they're really smart people and have the best intentions for these products. But you got to raise money in biotech. If you're not raising money, you're dying. And these guys have been dying for some time. I noticed that they brought in some consultants in June. They brought in someone for some marketing in June. So it's not like they're not trying, but whatever they've been doing has not been working out. They need something beyond just, hey, we're going to stick it up on a blog in Germany.
Well, there you have it. These are the opinions. It's BETR on the Canadian exchange. It's BetterLife Pharmacy. And, we haven't really said do this or do that in a way that would cost anybody any money at this point, because we're not spending any of my money on this stock. So, but still, folks, you have to do your own research and educate yourselves and look a little deeper into this before you make a decision, because we cannot guarantee anything from our opinions, of course. And if past performance does not guarantee future results either. It's BetterLife. They have been the topic of today's Equity.Guru Investor Roundtable, and we will see you next time for sure. For Chris, Michelle, Joseph, I'm Rob. See ya.
Save the world from genital warts.